In a fast-paced world where reactions come swiftly, and the urge to prove oneself is ever present, the Sigma male stands out with a distinctive and fascinating approach to handling disrespect. Rather than seeking validation or becoming entangled in petty squabbles, Sigma males exude an effortless calmness, showcasing their strength through composed responses. They refuse to invest time in seeking approval from others, especially when faced with disrespect. Instead of escalating conflicts, they maintain a cool, calculated detachment that speaks volumes, steering clear of unnecessary drama. This attitude isn't a facade of arrogance or an indication of being unapproachable. It stems from a firm sense of self that renders outside opinions irrelevant. The 15 responses outlined here are not your average comebacks. They are subtle, disarming, and at times brutally honest. These responses are designed to maintain one's composure while effectively putting disrespect in its rightful place. Each phrase serves as a reminder that Sigma males abide by their own rules, free from the constraints of societal expectations. If you've ever found yourself questioning how to handle disrespect with grace and unwavering confidence, these lines will offer you a fresh perspective on the power of quiet strength. So, gentlemen, stick around as we delve into these insights and feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. Number 15. I'll let you have the last word, but that doesn't mean you're right. This line is a masterclass in shutting down conversations that veer off course. When faced with nonsense or attempts to drag you into an argument, granting someone the last word without yielding ground is a potent display of strength. There's something incredibly powerful about allowing someone to believe they've won while you've already mentally checked out, sipping your coffee and moving on with your life. On the surface, this response appears polite. You graciously let them finish. However, beneath that surface lies an ironclad assertion of self-confidence. You communicate that their words, opinions, or attempts to provoke you do not have the power to disrupt your peace of mind. There's no need for justification or explanation. The humor in this line lies in its nonchalance, akin to saying, "Go ahead and keep talking. I'm not wasting any more energy on this." Number 14. You're free to say whatever helps you sleep at night. This line serves as a quiet killer, a perfect dismissal that doesn't need to raise its voice to make a point. It communicates to the other person, "Go ahead. Believe whatever you need to believe. I'm not here to challenge or care about it." In saying this, you aren't merely dismissing their opinion. You're making it abundantly clear that their narrative or reality holds no impact on you. This response hits hard with a subtle punch that makes people pause. It highlights that some opinions often reveal more about the person expressing them than any underlying truth. By allowing them to project their insecurities or needs for superiority, you remain steadfast and unyielding. It's disarming because it sidesteps confrontation without stooping to their level. The humor here lies in the shrug off, implying that they are so inconsequential to you that you are perfectly fine with their little comfort blanket of self-righteousness. You walk away without a care, leaving them with the nagging question of whether their need for validation has backfired. Number 13. I noticed you enjoy talking about others. It must be tiring being so invested in things that don't matter. This response does more than just address gossip. It acts as a mirror reflecting the other person's behavior. It's a subtle way of signaling that you refuse to engage in their trivial pursuits while illuminating the pointlessness of their drama. By acknowledging their fixation on others, you're making it clear that you see through their attempts to provoke a reaction. There's no need to become defensive or embroiled in their trivialities. This line effectively exposes their small-mindedness without you having to lift a finger. The brilliance of this response lies in its simplicity. You're not outright criticizing their wasted time. You're merely hinting at it with a sly observation. It's a humorous way of saying, if keeping tabs on irrelevant details is your hobby, more power to you. But I have far more engaging things to consider. And with that, you move on. leaving them to ponder whether their obsession with gossip truly matters. Number 12. Is that supposed to impress or intimidate me? Because it didn't do either. This response is a stone-cold comeback that halts anyone attempting to flex or intimidate. It's not merely a rejection. It's a reminder that their efforts to gain control or validation have utterly failed. The beauty of this response lies in its simplicity. You're not reacting emotionally or firing back with anger. You calmly observe that their attempts at dominance haven't hit their mark. This line doesn't just shut down the other person, it redirects the pressure back onto them. Suddenly, they're left questioning why they felt the need to impress you in the first place. It's akin to saying, all that effort for what? By calling out their ego play without even acknowledging it as a real threat, you point out how unnecessary it all was. The subtle humor in this response is priceless. It's as if you're amused by their desperate attempt, much like watching someone try too hard to look cool and failing miserably. You maintain your composure, leaving them with the uncomfortable realization that they cannot impress or intimidate you, no matter how hard they try. Number 11. Let's see if your actions match all that talk. This line delivers a straightforward, no-nonsense challenge to someone who's all talk and no action. When faced with boasting or grand claims, this response subtly calls them out without raising your voice or becoming emotional. It's as if you're holding up a mirror, prompting them to either step up or stop wasting your time. Instead of getting drawn into their empty chatter or pointless arguments, you set a clear expectation, back up your words with actions, or move along. The brilliance of this response lies in its simplicity. You're not engaging in a debate or throwing an insult. You're calmly pointing out the disconnect between their words and actions. This line forces them to prove their claims or expose themselves as bluffers, flipping the pressure back onto them. There's a hint of humor in the way you almost playfully invite them to showcase their true capabilities, fully aware that they likely won't follow through. By calling their bluff and walking away, you leave them scrambling to figure out if they have anything of substance to offer at all. Number 10. I don't need your respect. I have my own. This line packs a quiet, yet powerful punch, cutting straight to the core of anyone attempting to undermine you. It represents the ultimate declaration of self-assurance, clarifying that your self-worth does not rely on anyone else's approval. In a society obsessed with validation, this response stands out as refreshingly bold. When someone tries to shake your confidence or instill doubt, they often hope for a reaction, a sign that you need their respect to feel whole. However, this line strips away that power instantly. By stating, I have my own, you communicate that their opinion is irrelevant, a difficult truth for someone with an inflated ego to accept. You establish a boundary not in a defensive manner, but rather as a matter-of-fact statement. You respect yourself, and that's all that matters. There's an element of humor here, suggesting that you find their attempts at provocation amusing. You don't feel the need to argue or justify yourself. You remain unshaken, leaving them to wrestle with their own insecurities while you walk away, head held high and unbothered. Number 9. Sounds like a you problem. This classic line delivers a harsh reality check in just 5 words. When someone tries to unload their frustrations, insecurities, or grievances on you, this response acts as a verbal barrier. It's blunt, unfiltered, and a reminder that not every problem they face is yours to solve. By saying, sounds like a you problem, you draw a clear line, making it obvious that whatever issues they're grappling with are their own to bear. The genius of this response lies in its brevity and directness. It doesn't invite further conversation, nor does it offer sympathy. Instead, it forces them to acknowledge that they're projecting their issues onto you. This line serves as a cold reminder that they may need to take a hard look at themselves rather than expecting you to play the role of therapist. It carries just enough edge to show that you're finished with whatever drama they're trying to impose on you. There's a hint of humor in its audacity, suggesting that you refuse to be dragged into their mess. You aren't cold-hearted. You simply refuse to shoulder someone else's burdens, embodying a powerful stance that leaves them with nowhere to go. Number 8. Are you done trying to be relevant? Or should I pretend to care a bit longer? This line is a masterclass in flipping the script on someone desperate for attention through disrespect. It cuts straight through their bravado, exposing their need for validation while simultaneously asserting your indifference. When someone resorts to petty insults or attention-seeking behavior, this response deftly highlights the smallness and unnecessariness of their actions. By asking if they're done, you dismiss their attempts to engage you in drama while calling out the act of trying to stay relevant in a conversation where they don't belong. It's a subtle yet powerful reminder that you see right through their antics. The second part of the line, or should I pretend to care a bit longer, adds an extra layer of mockery, implying that you're doing them a favor by even acknowledging them. There's humor in this response that turns the tables, transforming their attempt to provoke you into a joke. It subtly emphasizes your emotional independence from their petty games. You remain unscathed, ready to move on to meaningful interactions while they grapple with their need for attention and relevance. Number 7. You must be fun at parties. This line serves as a lighthearted, slyly sarcastic jab at someone who seems overly negative or confrontational. When faced with unnecessary hostility, this response injects humor while simultaneously challenging the other person's approach to life. It's a subtle reminder that negativity or hostility is rarely a winning strategy. The brilliance of this response lies in its nonchalant delivery. By framing it as a playful remark, you diffuse tension while still addressing the awkwardness of the moment. You're not attacking them outright. Instead, you're forcing them to reflect on their demeanor. By comparing their attitude to someone who might ruin a social gathering, you subtly hint that their negativity is unwelcome. It's humorous and light, showcasing your ability to maintain composure while pushing back against their attempt to rattle you. This line sends a clear message that you're not interested in participating in their drama, and you can't help but find their sour attitude amusing. Number 6. That's a unique perspective. I'll keep it in mind for when I need a good laugh. This line embodies the perfect blend of humor and subtle contempt. When someone tries to undermine you with negativity or disrespect, this response takes their words and flips them into a source of amusement. You acknowledge their attempt at belittlement while transforming it into something entertaining. The humor here is undeniable. By framing their comment as a unique perspective, you not only dismiss its seriousness, but also suggest that their take on things is laughable. It's a clever way of showing that you're not shaken by their attempts to provoke you. Instead, you find their comments absurdly entertaining. This response shifts the narrative entirely. Rather than becoming defensive or engaged, you turn their attempt to disrespect you into something trivial. It reminds them that their negativity is meaningless in your world, effectively creating a divide between their opinion and your self-assuredness. You walk away with a smile, leaving them to wonder if they've wasted their breath on someone who isn't remotely affected by their attempts to bring you down. Number 5. Thanks for sharing. I'll remember that the next time I want to feel bad about myself. This response is the ultimate backhanded compliment, brilliantly encapsulating your ability to confront disrespect without losing your cool. When someone delivers negativity, this line cleverly flips the script, highlighting their misguided attempt to instill doubt in you. The humor in this response is twofold. First, it subtly acknowledges that their attempt at belittling you has missed the mark entirely. Secondly, it reminds them of their own pettiness, suggesting that their opinions are as relevant to your self-worth as a leaf blowing in the wind. This line is effective because it doesn't directly attack the other person. Instead, it puts the focus back on them and their failed attempt to hurt you. The blend of humor and self-assuredness showcases your emotional strength, illustrating that you can withstand negativity without losing your composure. You walk away, leaving them questioning why they thought their words could ever touch you. Number 4. I appreciate your input, but I don't take advice from insecure people. This response is both a dismissal and a statement of self-respect. When faced with unsolicited advice wrapped in a disrespectful tone, this line effectively reclaims your authority. It indicates that you recognize their attempt to undermine you while simultaneously asserting that their opinions are not worth considering. The brilliance of this response lies in its clarity. By addressing their insecurity directly, you highlight the source of their disrespect while maintaining your own dignity. It sends a clear message. You don't need guidance from someone who clearly struggles with self-esteem. There's a touch of humor in this line that helps diffuse tension while leaving the other person with little room to respond. It serves as a reminder that you value your own perspective more than their misguided attempts to offer help. You carry on with your day, knowing you've asserted your boundaries without raising your voice or becoming defensive. Number 3. Interesting take. I didn't realize that being rude was a valid perspective. This line artfully points out the absurdity of someone trying to pass rudeness off as a legitimate opinion. When faced with disrespectful comments, this response cleverly reframes the situation, subtly mocking the other person's misguided behavior while asserting your own self-respect. By framing their rudeness an interesting take, you effectively highlight the ridiculousness of their attempts to provoke you. It challenges the notion that being rude can be justified, forcing them to confront their behavior without making you appear defensive. There's a layer of humor in this response that underlines your composure. You aren't reacting with anger or frustration. Instead, you calmly indicate that their rudeness has no bearing on you. It's a reminder that you recognize their attempts to rattle you while simultaneously asserting your own boundaries. You walk away, leaving them with the uncomfortable realization that their rudeness has backfired. Number 2. I'll consider your advice after I'm done making my own decisions. This line perfectly encapsulates the strength and self-sufficiency of a Sigma male. When confronted with unsolicited opinions or attempts at control, this response serves as a firm reminder that your choices are your own. By suggesting that you'll consider their advice only after you've made your own decisions, you assert your autonomy without descending into defensiveness. It indicates that you're open to hearing others' perspectives, but not obligated to act on them. The beauty of this line lies in its calm assertion of independence. You're not rude. You're simply making it clear that you prioritize your own judgment over theirs. There's a subtle humor in the way it flips the dynamic back onto them, leaving them to ponder why they feel the need to advise someone who clearly knows their own mind. Number 1. I'll let you know when I'm ready to hear your opinion, which will be never. This final line stands as a powerful statement of self-confidence and boundaries. When someone's disrespectful behavior becomes too much to handle, this response serves as a final word, letting them know that you're not interested in their opinions. By stating that you'll let them know when you're ready to hear their opinion, which will be never, you establish a clear boundary without raising your voice or engaging in a back and forth. It's direct and assertive, making it clear that their attempts to provoke you are unwelcome. The humor here lies in its audacity. It's almost a playful dismissal, reinforcing that you are unfazed by their words. You walk away knowing you've set a clear boundary, maintaining your composure while making it abundantly clear that you don't have to entertain anyone's negativity. Conclusion: in a world full of disrespectful individuals and petty arguments, Sigma males embody the art of maintaining composure and dignity. The 15 lines presented in this article offer a new perspective on how to handle disrespect with grace and humor. Rather than succumbing to emotional reactions or engaging in unnecessary conflicts, Sigma males showcase their strength through calmness, wit, and self-assurance. Next time you find yourself faced with disrespect, remember these lines, and allow your inner Sigma male to shine through. You can rise above the fray, commanding respect without even trying. Do you resonate with the ideas I shared in this video? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're interested in more content about Sigma males, explore the other videos on this channel. Thanks for watching.